Hello guys, welcome. I am Mutiko Khiba and this is my channel. Yeah. So this will sort of be like an introductory video to my channel, just basically who I am, what I do, obviously, film, and my sort of philosophy and just my reason for making films or why I make films, hence the title of the video. Right, so I think before I get into the heart of the video, what I will talk about just briefly is that this channel will be a sort of mixed mash of things. So we'll have tips, we'll have BTS, behind the scenes, you will have just my random thoughts and philosophies just surrounding films, and maybe a couple reviews. But without any further ado, so I think just to start off, I am a filmmaker from Lesotho, but I am based in Durban, South Africa currently. This is where I attended film school and where I'm currently pursuing my career in film. By profession in the industry, well, as I try to get into it, I am a DOP slash cinematographer. They're not exactly the same, but people use them interchangeably, which technically isn't right, but you know, basically what I do is I'm responsible for making what you watch on screen really awesome. So, you know, from picking out the camera to the lens to the type of lighting we're going to be having, all of that stuff, just everything that makes what we're doing look really nice, or at least what you see on screen to look very nice. Aesthetics, basically, that's my job description. I think right now I'll kind of get into the backstory of how I actually got into film before I get to the reason I make films or why I make films, right? So the way it kind of started was we would often have theater or drama plays at school, right, when I was in high school. And I remember watching people lining up, you know, to get into the theater to go watch this play. And at the time, I didn't really care much for drama. I had nothing against it, but I don't know, I just always had other things to do, I guess. And one particular Friday, I had nothing going on, no plans, and I figured, hey, let me go see what the hype is about with this theater thing. And I remember we went there, or at least I went there, and I got there, and I remember watching this play, and it was incredible, absolutely mind-blowing. I remember we were all clapping, standing ovation, everything, the whole enchilada, and I remember thinking to myself, I want to be a part of that. I want to be on stage when people are clapping and it's this super duper crazy thing. So a couple weeks go by and I auditioned for a role and I was cast as an extra, right? So I was acting at this point. So I get the role, show up to rehearsals, super diligent, never missed one, always there early, all of that stuff. Finally, the first show comes through, we perform it, it's amazing, everybody loves the show. And I remember thinking to myself, this is great, right? But I think I want more. I think I want to be a little bit more involved into the thing. So naturally from there, you're like, I want to be the main character. So again, a couple weeks go by, or months I think, and a role appears. I think it was a main role for something else, and then I decided to audition for it and I got it, and cool, great, rehearsals, all of that stuff, great. And I remember at the end of the show, obviously, like the last person to come on stage, everybody's clapping, it's amazing, it's great, it's all of these things. And I remember thinking, okay, this was great, it was cool, definitely, to be the main person in this whole thing, and you know, to have all of these people clap for you, and it was a really amazing experience, I won't lie. But still, something in me felt like I needed a little bit more, you know. I got to be part of the thing that brought people here, but I feel like I was at a point where I want to create the thing that brings people to a certain place, or brings people to come and witness this thing that's happening on stage. And then that's when I got into writing, script writing, poetry, and then somehow through all of that I made it to film. And I think the reason for that was that with film I liked the idea of taking certain aspects of reality, things that you either overlook or we take for granted, and presenting them back to you through a lens and seeing how it makes you feel. So I think that's the short, not short version of the story. I think finally, the reason I make films, and I guess my philosophy for when I make films and how I make films, I think those two things kind of go hand in hand. And I think for the most part, film is my calling. Film, or rather making films, brings my spirit a lot of peace, and that is something that I try to return to somebody else when I do make films as well. So because oftentimes with the films that I create, it's either things that I think about, it's things that I feel, it's things that I've gone through, and it's things that I'm currently going through. So whenever I make films or whenever I make visuals, at least when it's my projects, there's always an element of me that is there, because I think in a certain way or crazy kind of way, that's sort of my way of hoping that whoever my material resonates with out there feels like they're not alone in what they're feeling, and that somebody out there definitely understands what they're going through and they're able to put it out there for them. Because I think in my early days when I started making film, I was a very reserved person emotionally. I couldn't tell you how I felt, nor could I describe to you how I felt, but somehow I was just always able to create visuals that, at least for me, I felt like completely described how I felt, and it was always very vivid and clear, and that always meant a lot to me. And I think sometimes that is something that we all wish we had, you know, the ability to sort of take what you're feeling and put it there on display, because sometimes you lack the words to describe it. And I guess that's pretty much why I like making films. Yeah. Anyway, catch you in the next video.
There's a moment when you're watching something on screen. Could be happy or sad, and out of the blue you find yourself in a trance. You don't know how you got there, but in that moment you start thinking introspectively and retrospectively, and you just feel this raw emotion burning inside. You don't even know what to do with. Soon you snap out of that trance and realize the film just ended, or the scene just passed, or the shot flew by, and it just feels like somehow you watched yourself miss it. But in reality, you just stopped watching it and started experiencing it. And I'd say that's the philosophy or idea behind my visuals. I'm just trying to give you something you can experience.